Before we get started into today's video, don't forget that I'm still running this giveaway right here for the shiny Greninja Gold Star promo PSA 9. Don't forget that I am still giving this out, so if you guys aren't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe down below. Leave a like on this video and leave a comment down below who your favorite Pokemon is. I will pick the winner in the next video, so before I post. You guys have basically a week because I post my videos on usually Thursdays when I post. So you have until my next video to enter and win that giveaway. So good luck. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are covering all of the evolutions that have been going up in price. Now a lot of these cards are from Evolving Skies, besides I believe one of them, but majority of these cards are from the Evolving Skies set, and a lot of these cards have been going up in price. Just want to take today to go over these cards and what cards you may or may not have in your collection that you might have not known that is right now going up in value. But for today's video, we are going over all the Eeveelutions. Yeah, so starting off with the regular V alternate art ones, we have Espeon, Sylveon, we have Umbreon, Glaceon, and we have Leafeon. All of these V alternate arts, just the base V, not the V Max. I will go over the V Max after these. Right now, the Espeon V is going on for about $106 here on TCG Player. It has seen a jump in price over the last few months. I remember this card sitting at about $60 a few months ago, and right now it has jumped quite a bit. A lot of these cards, Eeveelution cards, are going up in value very fast. So if you guys want to hop on the train and pick them up now, you guys can do that as well. But since we have more to cover, I am gonna go through these pretty fast. I'm just gonna cover the price real quick and then move on to the next one. For the Sylveon, it's a bit lower. This one is sitting at $92, which is still pretty good. Just like the Espeon, this card was sitting at about $55 to $60 just a few months back. And right now it currently is at $92. It has gained a bit of value over the last few months. I can see this card surpass the 100 mark within maybe a month or two from now. Overall, it's a very great card to have and a very beautiful artwork as well. I think all of these cards have very nice artwork, and some of these cards, actually all of these cards, I wish I had in my collection. It would be a very nice display piece in my rooms. But yeah, moving on to the next card, we have I believe this is the most expensive one out of all of them, which is the Umbreon V. This one is sitting at $177, which is pretty insane. I remember this card going for about $70 to $80 like a few months ago. Maybe about 45 months ago, it was sitting around $70 to $80. But just because of the Evolving Skies hype recently, this card has jumped up pretty high, almost doubled in value at $177 right now. I believe this card is going to continue to rise, and I don't think you guys will be able to find this card for a lot cheaper than this. At most, or at least, I believe you guys can probably find this card for at least 160 somewhere else besides TCG Player, but I am using TCG Player as my guide to prices. Umbreon is the most popular out of all the Eeveelutions, so I can see why this one is a lot higher than most of the other ones, just like how the VMAX version is toppling over all of the other cards. But honestly, they are all very beautiful cards, and they are all also very expensive cards nonetheless. Next card we have is the Glaceon V. This card is sitting around $102, so just like the Espeon, this card is about just right over the $100 mark. A lot of these cards are right above the $100 mark or just sitting right below it. So this one is right at $102. Very nice card. I think this one is actually my favorite artwork out of all of the regular V alternate arts. I just think it's a very nice card with the Glaceon sitting on the bench with the snow in the background. Very nice. I'm not complaining about the artwork at all. But yeah, for $102, this card has seen a very big jump in value as well over the last few months. Yeah, around March time, this card was sitting at about $55. This card was pretty cheap for a very long time. Just recently, when Evolving Skies just jumped in price, everything here has doubled in value, almost tripled in value. So if you guys haven't jumped in then, right now it is not too expensive yet. $100 is still affordable for some people, but it is to the point where you don't want to spend $100 on a single card. But if you do have the funds to do so, I would recommend you pick this piece up along with any of the other pieces in here that you guys like or don't have in your collection. And a lot of these cards I don't have in my collection, just so you guys know. The only one I actually have in my collection is the Leafeon V, which I am going to cover next, and the Leafeon V Max that I used to have, which I no longer do. I sold it off. Cover those two in a little bit, but we're moving on to the next card, which is the Leafeon that I just mentioned. This one is sitting at $95. I do have this one. It's gone up pretty high in value as well. Over the last few months, it's doubled in value actually. It's sat at $50 for the longest time, and right now it's going up there for reaching 100. I think this card has the potential to reach $100. I mean, it's just $5 away. It could probably reach $100 within the next few months, or maybe even the next few weeks. Overall, this card is a very nice card to have. It's actually one of the cheaper. I think it's the cheapest one out of all of them, besides the Sylveon. These two are the cheapest ones out of all of them, but they aren't too far off from each other. Like the Espeon 106, the Glaceon was 102, so they're not too far off. They're sitting about $90 to $100 range, so they're all pretty close, similar in prices. But that is all of the regular V's out of the table. We are gonna go over the V Maxes now. The V Maxes have just popped off in price, and you guys will be surprised at how much they are right now. Yeah, so going in the same order, we started with Espeon V Max. This card is currently sitting at $281 on TCG Player, which it has doubled its value since from a few months ago. Back in March, this card was $124, which was pretty cheap at the time. So right now it's sitting at $281, which has doubled in value. This card is actually from Fusion Strike and not Evolving Skies. This is the only card in this video that isn't from Evolving Skies. All of the other Eeveelutions are from Evolving Skies. I know there were the promo cards for the Vaporeon, the Flareon, and the Jolteon, but I'm not going to cover those in today's video. If you guys don't know, those are promo cards. They were made into these collection boxes, and they're just promo cards. But I'm not covering them in today's video. I'm just going over the high hitters right now. But $281, it is getting pretty expensive. It took a very high jump in price and value. I believe it'll continue to jump in price over as the next few weeks go by. Personally, this card I don't really care for. It's not the best card for me. I think this is actually my least favorite one out of the bunch that I'm gonna cover next. Next up, we have the Sylveon VMAX. This is an absolutely beautiful card, FYI. I love this card. It's a very nice card. I don't have this card, but it's a very nice card. Right now, its value is currently sitting at $235. Just like the Espeon about a few months ago, it was sitting at about $130, $120. Yeah, so right now it did take a very big jump in value. Looking at recent sales, there was one sold for $90, but that's because it was a damaged hollow. Yeah, so like I said, a lot of these cards are gonna be about $200 plus. They are pretty expensive. They took a very big, huge gain in value over these last few months, and that piqued a lot of my interest because just a few months ago, these cards were sitting at about $100. The most expensive was the Umbreon, which was about like a $400 card at that time, but now that has also jumped in value. Speaking of the Umbreon VMAX, right now this card is sitting at $905 raw. And that's not even a graded price, guys. That is the raw price for this card. That is just very insane. I don't know what to say. This card just a few months ago, I remember it was at a pretty high price already at $400. I thought that was gonna be its peak, to be honest, but it proved me wrong. Fast forward a few months, and now it's currently sitting over slightly above $900, going for raw. There are some probably still for like $800. Probably you can probably find some in the a worse condition for probably $500 to $600 probably. But if you want this card in near mint condition or mint condition, you're probably gonna be paying around $900 to $1,000 raw for this card, which is absolutely insane. I wish I pulled this card. This was actually one of my favorite cards in the set, besides the Rayquaza VMAX. I absolutely love that card. But this was a close second or third, you could say. I wish I had pulled this card back when it came out. I opened up a ton of Evolving Skies. I never pulled it. I actually had very bad luck with Evolving Skies. It just wasn't my set. But I loved a lot of cards from the set, and it didn't treat me that well. But for $900, give or take, yeah. But for $900, that is just an insane value on this card. It's gonna continue to go up. And actually, looking at the sold recent sale prices on this card, there's been one sold for $1,400. I'm not sure if that was a raw price, but if that is a raw price, that is absolutely insane. But one did sell recently as well for $899, so just right at the $900 mark, which isn't too far off what TCG Player has right now. So very insane card, but it's also a very nice card if you do have this piece in your collection. And it's gonna continue to rise, like I said. It's a good piece to invest in if you don't have it in your collection. Kind of sorry about that. I don't have it, so I'm sorry for myself. If you do have this card, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's a very nice piece to have in your collection. All right, moving on to the next one. This one is a lot cheaper than the Umbreon, obviously. This is the Glaceon V Max. This one's sitting at $254. It's a lot cheaper than the Umbreon card, but it is still not cheap at all for people. It's still not cheap at all for me. It's still way over my budget. So just like all the other cards, this card was sitting at about $140 just a few months ago. It took a very big jump to where it is now at $254. It's becoming very expensive to the point where it's becoming hard to afford these cards. They were so cheap just a few months ago, maybe even a year ago. You could probably find it for pretty cheaper, for like $100 at the least. But this Glaceon is probably around the top 4 card in the set for me. I just really enjoyed the artwork for the Glaceon cards. This VMAX plus the regular alternate art, they're just very nice arts and very colorful. I just like blue. Blue is my favorite color, so everything in the artwork just matches up very well, and I enjoy these two cards. Alright, so we're moving on to the second most expensive VMAX Eeveelution, which is the Leafeon VMAX. I actually pulled this card. I told you guys about this story already in one of my previous videos. I sold this card off. I actually pulled it, I graded it, and then I sold it off, which I regret to this day. I wish I still kept that card because it was one of my most prized possessions. Due to some personal stuff, I had to sell that card off. I wish someday I would be able to track it down and somehow get it back if possible. But yeah, this card raw right now is sitting for $330, which is also insane. When I sold this card off, the raw price was about $160. I actually had the black label version of this card, so I sold it for a more high price since it did come back as a black label, and there was only at that time 6 in population, so it was pretty rare at that time. I'm not sure how many black labels there are on this card now, but right now a black label for this card is sitting about 3K. This comes in as one of my favorite art from this card, these cards as well, just because I pulled this card and it holds very dear to my heart. It's a very beautiful card in person. If you guys haven't seen this card in person, it's a very beautiful card. Very nice texture on this card as well, and it holds very dear to my heart because this is the only Eeveelution card that I pulled inside of this set. And knowing all the bad luck I had with this set, this card holds very dear to me. So, and I'm also surprised at the huge jump in price it has over the past few months at $330 right now. So I believe this card is going to continue to rise. It's the second most expensive behind the Umbreon VMAX. None of the other ones will reach the Umbreon where it is now, but I believe a lot of these cards will get over $300 at some point. So that is all the cards in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget about this giveaway. I am still giving this away I will pick the winner in the next video. So if you guys aren't subscribed, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, leave a comment down below. Make sure your notification bell is on so you don't miss out that giveaway. Are you guys gonna be picking up some of these cards? If not, I understand because they're all so expensive. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.